Hi friends, once again we came to learn about the social studies. First of all, I would like to greet everyone and especially for welcome you everybody for the online class of Kerala Public School, Araria, Bihar. Last episodes we completed. There are three different classes of social studies and one history part we completed, and from geography one lesson we completed, and also the politics one lesson completed. Now we have to come back to the history part. So history part, lesson 2, and lesson 2, the title is mentioned here, the expansion of British power in India. Okay, the expansion of the British power in India. This is the first, maybe the part of this second lesson 2. I think this lesson also a little bit vast, so two topic we will complete it, and I hope that within 5 or 6 episodes we are able to complete this lesson completely, and you get a clear understanding about this lesson. So I hope everybody understanding what I'm talking to you. So everybody give your complete attention towards me, then only we are able to learn clearly this lesson. And when we to understand the common introduction about this lesson, the expansion of the British power in India. So we understand that before the British people, English East India Company came to India, there were different dynasties are there, different kings are there, kingdom was there in North India, in South India, Northeast India. We can understand that different type of kingdoms are there. There are some Mughal emperors are there, and how they govern their own region. About that we have the information from the last maybe previous lessons or classes. So now we have to understand that from this lesson we have to learn about the foreign trading company became the political master of India. How the foreign trading company came to India, they became the political masters of India, and that we have some understanding. And we will have what happened to the existing ruling groups, and when English East India Company came to India, and what are the things happened with the existing group of dynastics. Okay, because when the British came to India, after that, before that also we can understand that dynasties are there. So when they reached to India, and after that, what would happen? What already happened with the people? Those dynastics mainly, and we can understand the existing ruling groups and how the East India Company became a political power. So mainly, we are able to learn from this lesson that the expansion of the British power in India, how they exercised their power in India. Even if we know that different dynasties are there, more than that, they came on how they are trying to exercise their own power in India. About that we are mainly learning from these lessons. So today we are going to mainly deal with two different topics. That first one is mercantilism in India, and second one is called the English East India Company. These two topic only we are going to deal with today, and rest of the part we will discuss with episode 2, 3, 4, 5. By that episode we are able to complete this lesson completely. So listen carefully. I need your complete attention. Don't go here and there, and you have to always concentrate on me while I am teaching. And you have to keep a notebook with you to write the notes and everything. Okay? Okay, let's start. So, mercantilism in India. About that, we are getting so many informations. Okay, mercantilism in India. In class 7, we read about the coming of the Europeans. Okay, traders in India. Class 7, we discussed about the European people, how they came to, how they traveled to India, how they reached to India. About that, we got the information. Now, the Portuguese led the very way in 1498. Okay, even the people, especially the Portuguese, they reached to India in 1498. Okay, so the Portuguese reached to India in which year? 1498. When Vasco da Gama landed in Calicut, lured by the legendary wealth of India. Okay, you know that the Portuguese, maybe the traveler, he reached to India, especially Vasco da Gama, and he reached to India and he just stepped into India and Calicut. Then maybe you can understand that 1498. And also, when he reached to India, he understood that maybe the legendary wealth of the India. Okay, so they came to India first. They go through the India. They find out that maybe India is having enormous wealth are there, enormous resources are there, and he came to know about India. And when he stepped into India, now we can understand that maybe the traders from different European nations came here for the immense profit. And after the Vasco da Gama, there are other people also came from the Europeans, and they also came to know about the wealth, legendary wealth of India. Okay, and so many different about minerals are the resources are there about they got the clear picture, they got the clear understanding when they reached India. Okay, and they started to came to India. Maybe the Portuguese traveler Vasco da Gama in 1498. Now, the traders from different European nations also came one after another. Then we can understand that maybe the flourishing trade led to the fierce competition between trading companies. You know that after that different companies also came to India and they have the trade and also they have the competition in between for the trade purpose. Here we can understand that these people, they understand the legendary wealth of India, and because the Europeans, they themselves are, they always have the competition each other, not with the people of the India, not with the maybe the business people of India, and they themselves, the Europeans, they themselves have the competition in between them for the trading purpose. Not only we are getting the information from the history. Now we can understand that there will be this deals with because the competition are there in between them, and because of that, what are so many things happen, and one by one, briefly I will explain to you right now. Here mentioned that how these countries establish trading relations with India, and these people how they start trade with India. About that we have to learn, and what are the main maybe the trading intents, otherwise items are there, which are the main trading items. And also, how did the British manage to establish monopoly? You know that I already informed you that after the Portuguese, so many Europeans came to India, and you know that different Dutch people came there, Portuguese people are there, and the British are there, and so many different people came to India. I will explain one by one. Then you know that how the monopoly system came to exist, because all other Europeans are there. More than that, how the British conquered all of the people, how the British started their own monopoly in India, okay, and maybe keeping away all other Europeans. About that we have to learn from this lesson. Now we can understand how they became the supreme power. So you know that Dutch people came there, English East India Company, Dutch East India Company are there, and French East India Companies are there, and so many trading European people who came to India. And you know that more than that, how the British people they start their own maybe the monocracy in India, and how they developed their own maybe business system in India, and how they wiped out rest of almost all the Europeans from India, how they started their own monopoly in India. About that we have to learn from this lesson. So this is the mercantilism in India, because mercantilism in India, we are mainly you understand that maybe the British people, Portuguese came, Dutch people came, all as the traders, they have seen the legendary wealth of India, and they want to take away, they want to export all the things, their own nations, that is there. At the same time, how the British people, they started their own monopoly in India. That means they have wiped out almost all the Europeans, and they started their own monopoly. Okay, that means monopoly single. Okay, rest of all the British people and other Portuguese people and other Europeans, they maybe wiped out all those people by the cookers, maybe the thoughts of the British people, and now they started. Otherwise, those days they started their own monopoly in India. So how these things are happened about we are learning. So these are maybe the mechanism in India where we are getting the information. So these Europeans, mainly the British, they started their own maybe monopoly in India. Okay, first of all the Portuguese, the traveler, they came to India, Vasco da Gama, 1498, and after that so many Europeans came to India for the business purpose. And finally, and British people, they started their own monopoly in India. That another main information we are getting from this paragraph, mercantilism in India. Okay. Now we have to go for the next topic, the English East India Company. Okay. The next topic we are going to learn about the English East India Company. Here mentioned that the English East India Company formed by a group of merchants as a private corporation in 1598. Okay, it started in 1598 as a private corporation. Okay, the English East India Company formed in 1598. Okay, as a private corporation. You understand? In English East India Company, they started as a private corporation in 1598. And we can understand that as a trading purpose only they started, and they formed English East India Company. In 1600, the English East India Company received a royal charter from the Queen Elizabeth, and the first to trade the Eastern world. You know that? Mainly we have to understand that Queen Elizabeth, okay, Queen Elizabeth, because they started as a trading company and cooperation company, a private section, maybe 1598, and this time you know that the Queen of Elizabeth and 1600, she has given the permission to have the trade with the Eastern countries. You understand? Here mentioned that in 1600, the English East India Company received a royal charter. That means royally she allowed to have the trade with the Eastern countries by the Queen Elizabeth in 1600. Okay, are you getting? And now the charter gave the English East India Company a monopoly over trade for a period of 15 years. Okay, so because of the permission of the Queen Elizabeth, 1600, and they started maybe as they already started at 1598, and you know, as a cooperation, private cooperation, and more than that, Queen Elizabeth also given the permission 1600 for the trade with the Eastern countries, and because of that they have gone even for the trade more than 15 years. And now we can understand that the first sale of English East India Company, because that in Europe only, they have done everything in Europe only, and they formed English East India Company in when? Maybe 1598. Okay, and you know that they have run their own business, their own trade in Europe only, and after that they got the permission from the Queen Elizabeth 1600, they moved towards the Eastern nations for the trade purpose. Are you clear what I am saying? Now, here you can see that maybe the first sale of English East India Company mainly towards the east 1601. Okay, and you know that 1600 Queen Elizabeth given the permission for the trade, and when we are getting to know that maybe 1601. Okay, 1601, we can understand that they started to move from there to different nations. Okay, they got the permission from the Elizabeth 1600 and 1601. They started to move towards the Eastern countries. Now, at the time of diplomatic commission led by Sir Thomas Roy was sent to the Mughal Emperor Jahangir to get the permission for trade in Surat and other areas. Okay, so here we are getting the information that first of all maybe she sent a royal person and to meet the his name is Sir Thomas Roy. Okay, Sir Thomas. Okay, Sir Thomas Roy sent to the Mughal king. His name is Jahangir. Okay, and one of the person maybe sent to to meet the Jahangir, and his name is Thomas Roy. In 1601, onwards they started their own business with India, and they started to move to even the Eastern countries and even in India also we can understand that. So, with the help of one of the person already sent by the Queen Elizabeth, Thomas Roy, and to reach to Eastern countries, and even he reached to India to meet Jahangir to get the permission, because that time also if someone want to have the trade with other person, other nation, they have to get the permissions. Okay, that purpose. If now also we are never to go and start a mission, others visit the America or China or Korea or in Australia, any other nation. It is very difficult because they have their own government is there. They have their own system is there. So we have to go through the system only. We are able to reach those people first. Then we have our own deal with those people. Then only if they allow, we are able to start. The same way, here also so many Mughal the kings were there. So that time the Jahangir was there. So Sir Thomas Roy was sent to even Jahangir to get the permission to have the trade with India. Okay, that clear information we understand. And he mainly came, and especially they want to start the maybe their own business from the Surat and other areas of the Gujarat. That thing. Okay, Sir Thomas Roy came 1601. And with the permission of the Elizabeth, and to meet Jahangir to start with their own business from which are the areas? Surat and other areas of India. Okay. Now, in 1612, the English East India Company established in first factory in Surat. Okay. In 1612. Okay, in 1612, English East India Company started, others established their own trade in India. Okay, so clear information we are getting from here. Elizabeth, with the permission of Elizabeth, Thomas Roy, 1601, came to India to meet the Jahangir to get the permission for the trade, and English East India Company established their own trade in India from 1612. Okay, from 1612. And they started their own mission, others their own maybe the trade, others the factories in India in Surat. And so they built a trading post in Muzaffarpur, Agra, Ahmedabad, Madras, Patna, and Baleshwar. Okay, we are getting the clear information. After the 1612, they started mainly. First of all, they started in Surat. And after that, maybe they started their own, maybe the factories in different parts of India. And few names I already mentioned here, mainly in Muzaffarpur, one of the place, and also Agra, and Ahmedabad, Madras, Patna, and Baleshwar. These are the different places they established their own trade, their own factories after the 1612. Okay. These are the clear information we are getting from this lesson. Then you know that in 1662, the English East India Company given as an island of Bombay by King Charles II, and who had received it from the Portuguese as part of his dowry on marrying a Portuguese princess. Okay, while we are going ahead, we are getting the information that in 1662. Okay, in 1662, okay, and this year, what has happened? We can understand that the English East India Company was given the island of Bombay. There will be 7 different islands are there. 7 islands are there. In Mumbai, 7 islands are there. In 1662, these 7 maybe islands are which is situated in Mumbai by the King Charles II, and the King Charles II married one of the Portuguese princes, and this may be in Mumbai. These are the others. Bombay is the area belongs to others under the control of the Portuguese that time. So there will be 7 islands are there, and the Charles II, okay. Charles II married a Portuguese princess. Okay, Charles II married a Portuguese princess in 1662, otherwise 1662. Because of that, they have given these 7 islands as dowry. Hello, you know that maybe the marriage, when the marriage has taken place, after the engagement, people are maybe different families are two different families. They are discussing together, and they are asking for your maybe your child, what is you are going to give, and as a dowry, and they are asking, and people are giving lakhs of rupees. Sometimes they are giving vehicles for their own child, and sometimes they are giving enough gold and maybe lakhs of rupees. Okay, they are giving as the dowry. So maybe you know that the Mumbai 7 islands are there, and because of the chance to he married one of the maybe the queen from the Portuguese. Okay, one of the princes from the Portuguese. That purpose only this the Portuguese people given the 7 islands for the Charles II as the dowry. I think you got it very clearly. So you know that the English acquired these villages in dowry, and after that who had received it from the Portuguese as a part of his dowry on marrying Portuguese princess. Okay, so maybe now we can understand that maybe these are the 7 islands belongs to this Charles II. And then when we are going ahead, we can see that the English East India Company acquired the villages in Bengal, which they unified to from the city of Calcutta. And you know, when we are learning about the Bengal, so West Bengal, we can understand that there will be 3 different villages are there nearby. And this place also in West Bengal, these 3 different villages also, these Europeans, they started their own companies, and they formed these 3 different villages together, and they have named that is called Calcutta. Okay, in West Bengal, you know, 3 different villages was there. That they started the English East India Company. They started their own business over there. And when that 3 villages they mixed it together, they joined together, and they mentioned that name is Calcutta. Okay, now we are going to the Calcutta, and we know that the Kolkata, others the Calcutta, according to our own pronunciation, and in Calcutta we can see that these 3 different villages mixed it together, joined together by these English people, and they called that name is Calcutta. Okay, now the city is Calcutta. The company established functions at these places. You know that. And they joined these 3 villages together. They formed, and they have mentioned the name of the Calcutta, and they started their own maybe the factories over there. And in fortified Mumbai, Calcutta, and Madras, you know that the 3 different places they fortified their own business trading centers, especially Mumbai, Calcutta, and the Madras. You know that these are the 3 different maybe the cities. We know that maybe the ports are there. Ship ports are available, and for the coming and going and through the voyage, they are getting enough chances to reach India, and maybe especially in Calcutta and Mumbai and Chennai. That purposely always the Europeans they are coming through that way through the voyage, so they are able to reach the shore of the Calcutta, Mumbai, and Chennai. So these are our main 3 places. Also they have started their own maybe their trade, otherwise their own business, otherwise their own factories. These are 3 main cities. Now, the merchants lived inside their fort and did not mingle with the locals and accept their business. You know that these are the, especially Mumbai, Calcutta, Chennai. These are the 3 main places. They started their own factories and for the business. They started. These are the main cities. And there, these 3 are port cities are there, and you know that, and people from Europe, those who are staying there, these are the mainland cities are there. They never mingle with the local people. Okay, they have the fortified, they have the forts are there, and inside only the people will stay. They will remain there, and except they mingle with the people for the vegetation to purchase the vegetable and some other things for some edible or eatable things. That purpose only they are going out to meet the people from the India, and the rest of the time they are around the fort city only. They are in the city of, they stayed there, they lived there. They are simply not going and mixing with, talking with, or having no interaction with the locals of India. You understand? These people, and they have the forge, and they will stay there only, and for their own business purpose, their own factory purpose, they stay there only, and except they are going outside only for the vegetation to purchase vegetables, and for the eatable other things are there. That only time they are going and moving out of their own forge,
then they are mingling with the people. Rest of all the time, they always maybe inside of their own four really. Mainly Mumbai, Kolkata, and Chennai. These are cities. So these are the information we are getting from the second topic, the English East India Company. Now I already informed you that how English East India Company they start to travel to India. And who gave the permission to meet maybe the Jahangir? I already explained. That is about 1600. And she already given the permission and to meet Jahangir. For that, she sent Sir Thomas Roy 1600 onward. And Jahangir came and took the permission for the business purpose. And you know that how maybe the seven islands are there from the Mumbai, how they got, the English got from the Portuguese as the dowry, and Charles II married one of the Portuguese princes because of that, and he got the dowry, the seven islands from the Mumbai, and now the control of English East India Company. And after you understand that, now the Calcutta, that how the name code, there are three different villages, different scattered here and there, and that village, even the English East India Company started their own business, for the factories are there, so they mixed it up, they joined together three different villages and named Calcutta. So now we are calling the Calcutta, the name as a form, and like that only, because these people they given the name for the Calcutta, and there also they started their own business, otherwise the administration, and also they started their own, maybe all different type of trade from that Calcutta. That also we got information. So these are the main information we are getting the English East India Company. Now today we discuss about the mercantilism in India, and how the different Europeans came to India. They exercised their own power in India. And also how the monopoly started from the British, because Europeans are there, French are there, so many different, and from the European nation they came to India, and more than that, how the English East India Company, and also the British people started their own monocracy. That also we discussed. So finally, the English East India Company, all the information I have given through this explanations, I hope that you understand about these two different topics. And next topic we will discuss by the tomorrow, the next class. And if you have any more clarification doubts, you have to comment to me. And otherwise, you go through the books and read it again and again. You will the clear picture of the different topic. Okay. Then we will see the next class. Till then, bye. Thank you. God bless you all.